Hello and welcome to today's update. Today is 7th of September. My name is Noble. We're going to talk about what happened to the market today and what is likely to happen in coming days. You're seeing a 30-minute chart of QQQ. Now, yesterday we theorized that QQQ had been falling and it's been finding a base around this 290, and since it has fallen quite a bit, bears probably are not interested in shorting at this level. They would be interested in shorting if there was a rebound in QQQ, possibly to maybe this level or even this level. This level would be even better. But this level, it doesn't provide a better opportunity since they've made quite a bit of money shorting it from around 320 in the most recent sell-off. And that's exactly what we saw in today's market. QQQ was up 2%. Now, what we saw in the morning was there was this area of resistance, which is around 297. And once it was able to get through this level, then logically the next area would be this level, which is around 304. You can see that there have been a number of couple of instances where it got rejected. This was a support right here, and then when this support was broken right here, it fell quite a bit. So it would seem logical that it moves up to this 304 area and retest this resistance. And if it's able to get through this level, then the next area of challenge would be around 307, and above that would be the 313 level. Support, on the other hand, remains around 290 right here. It did form a base right here, so this area would be the support. If it closes below this level, then obviously technical picture would start to be negative. Now, if we look at the momentum indicators, you can see that MACD has started to move higher. It's now crossed above the zero line, but obviously this is on a smaller time scale, but it's at least showing that the momentum is still positive, so we could see additional upside ahead. You can see that even when the price was declining and made a new low, RSI didn't. In fact, RSI has been gradually moving higher, right? You can see, whereas price has been making a lower low. And you can see MACD also has been going up. So there was a positive divergence building up even on a smaller time scale. So at the moment, I would say that the momentum is still to the upside until we see what happens to this 304 and possibly 307 area. Now, if we quickly look at the daily time frame just to see what the picture looks like. So this is QQQ using the daily time frame. You can see there's a nice green candle right here after several red candles. Now, what we're going to do is this moving averages, the 20 and 50 moving averages, those would now be the area of resistance. You can see the moving averages, they will act as a dynamic resistance. You can see right here, those moving averages acted as resistance. You can see right here. So these moving averages will act as a area of resistance if there is a further move to the upside. At the moment, these moving averages, the 20 and 50-day moving averages, are sitting around 308, 308.50. So if we look at a smaller time frame, you'll see 308 level would bring it to around this area. So it will come to this area. So once it reaches there, then those moving averages will act as an area of resistance. And obviously, if it can go through those moving averages, that would be positive. So that we'll have to see how it plays out in coming sessions. Keep in mind that next Tuesday, the CPI report is going to come out, and CPI report is going to be quite influential as to what happens to the market. A friendly report certainly is going to be beneficial, but a stronger report, stronger than what the market is expecting, could be potentially negative. So that that's what we have to keep an eye on. Now, looking at the momentum indicators, you can see that RSI has started to move higher. Yesterday we talked about RSI this level. We talked about when RSI reached this level, market tended to bounce. You can see that right here it formed you'll see that it formed a base right here, then another base right here. So RSI reached right at that level from where we saw previous bounces. It's now closed above this level, the purple line, which is 38.2 level, but it remains below this level, which is the green line, which is the 50. We want to see RSI get back above the 50 level. MACD is now below the zero line. We want to see MACD cross and start to move above the zero line, so that would show that the momentum is now on the positive side. Still oversold on a daily time frame. Stochastic is near the oversold area, so there is additional room for bounce at least to the 307, 308. I'm not sure whether we go through that level ahead of the CPI report, but let's see how things go. But at least it's showing that there is a little bit more room to the upside. So that's QQQ. Let's jump on to SPY. So let's look at the SPY on a 30-minute time frame first of all. So yesterday we talked about the fact that it was forming a base right here around 390, and then we mentioned that this area, which is around 394, was an area of resistance, but today it managed to push through that level fairly easily, and then it's now heading towards the next area of resistance, which is right here. You can see that this area, which is around 402, was a problem right here. There was a rejection right here. 402 was a support right here, and then when the support was breached right here, you can see that it fell quite a bit. So this area is quite important, because if it clears this area, then it has overcome a good this area which has acted as a strong resistance previously. Above this, the resistance would be around right here, which is around 406 level, and then beyond that it would be around 412, 413 area. You can see that it spent a long time at this at this level, so this area would also act as an area of resistance. But at least for the time being, it's looking good. The momentum indicators are moving higher. You can see the MACD, at least on the 30-minute time frame, has crossed the zero line. Even when the price made equal low, the MACD actually didn't. MACD was making higher highs. RSI was also making higher high. So you can see that there was positive divergence building on a smaller time frame. Now, if we look at the SPY on a daily basis, so this is SPY. So yesterday we talked about this area, which is the 61.8% retracement of this move from the June lows to August high. So this is an important level. There's also quite a bit of horizontal support right here. You can see candle right there, candle right here, and then you can see quite a bit of candle passing through this level. So this level was it's an important area of support, and we can see that it has bounced off that level, which is good because it's now acting technically. Now, so this is a daily chart. You can see that the two moving averages, the 20 and 50, they're sitting right here. They're around 405. They're around 405 area. So if I go back to the smaller time frame, you can see 405 is basically right here. So 405 is right there. So if it gets up to this level, effectively what's going to happen is that it will then encounter resistance at the two moving averages, which are about to cross and head lower. This is not a positive sign. I mean, the price has to get back above it and make sure that it doesn't start going lower. What we don't want to see is we don't want to see something like this, where the moving averages crossed and then they started moving lower. Now, these moving averages are likely to act as a resistance. You can see right here there was resistance. You can see the 50-day acted as a resistance right here. Then there was resistance. So they're likely to act as an area of resistance. So we need to make sure that 405, this is at 405, it gets back above 405. Now, obviously, we've got CPI number coming out, so not sure whether it's going to be able to get through this level ahead of the CPI number. But at least nice to see that it bounced from the right technical area, which is the 61.8 fib retracement, and also a bunch of horizontal support right here. You can see RSI also had a nice bounce. So yesterday we discussed that when RSI reaches that level, market tends to kind of make a short-term bottom. So that's basically what we are seeing. Now, what we haven't seen so far is some kind of a structure. Like in previous cases when RSI bottom, we see some kind of a W pattern right here. So we haven't seen that. So not sure whether RSI is going to pull back and then move higher. But at least it's looking better. But it still remains below this green line, which is the RSI 50 level. So once it gets above this, then RSI would suggest positive momentum. You can see MACD is also is currently below the zero line. So what we want to see is we want to see it cross and get back above the zero line. But at least it's a positive beginning to this rebound. So let's see how far it goes. Now, all this rebound came because of what happened in the bond yields. Yesterday, the yield, 10-year yield, went up 12 basis points. Today, it fell 8 basis points. So that basically was supportive to the market. You can see the 10-year bond yield has been steadily moving higher, and it's been heading towards this previous high of around 3.5%. So obviously this pullback was a relief. Now we see that the MACD is very much above the zero line, but it looks like it might want to make a crossover. If it can do something like this, that would be positive. But that's something we'll find out in coming sessions. But at the moment, the bond yields are looking strong, and there is no signs of reversal. Today's one-day decline, I wouldn't basically make too much out of it because the overall trend is up. Weak bond yield basically means that dollar was weak. Dollar fell 0.63% today. So this is the first big red candle we see. Dollar has been steadily moving higher. So even though it had a weak day, it still remains solidly in an uptrend. You can see the moving averages are going higher. Although MACD hasn't confirmed, you can see while price has been going up, MACD has been making at least up until now a lower high. So that shows that it's going up on lower momentum. So it's something to keep an eye on. But at least there's no sign of reversal as of now. Until it falls below the moving averages, the trend would still be positive. Let's look at gold. I think gold is worth watching here because gold is looking quite interesting. So you see gold found support right here. This price action, today's price action, is quite bullish because if I show you the line chart, you can see that it's making a double bottom pattern. So this is actually a positive price action. Now, obviously, there will be some resistance right around here, which is around 1750. If it can get through there, then this area 1775, and then this area 1800 could very well come into play. Gold is looking much better right now. You can see the momentum indicators such as the RSI. It has started to move higher. You see it's making a higher high. Our MACD, although it's below the zero line, it looks like it wants to make a cross right here. Even though price came to the previous low, but MACD actually didn't. So this is like a bullish divergence. RSI also, you can see that it didn't fall as low as the lows right here. So you can see that there's a bullish divergence building, but today's price action was quite positive. So we'll see whether or not there is a follow through. 1750 would be the first level of resistance. If it gets through there, then 1775 and then 1800 will come into play. If you look at silver too, silver also has a quite positive pattern, but it's not as bullish as gold, but gold is now beginning to look positive right now. What was negative? The oil market. Crude oil didn't have a good day, so it fell. You can see there's a big red candle. It fell today almost 6%. It was a bad day, and more importantly, it fell below this area, which was the 8450 was the previous area of support. Now the next level of support is around right here, around 7650. So this is now looking quite weak. The momentum indicators are also weak. You can see MACD is well below the zero line. I'm not seeing any signs of crossover or heading towards the zero line. So this is quite weak. RSI just made a new low, so this is also not showing any positive momentum. So overall it looks quite weak. If we now move on to VIX, so this is VIX. So we've discussed that 2750 area was a problem, because you can see there were 1, 2, 3, 4 times it made an attempt to overcome this level, but it wasn't able to. Today was a bad day. It lost almost 8.5%, and it closed below these levels. You see there are a number of wicks right here around 25, so it closed below this level. If it closes below this level, which is 24, this whole pattern of higher highs would be invalidated, so it would start to look weak right then. I mean, for the moment, let's give the benefit of the doubt to VIX, because it's still above 24, but I am beginning to see that MACD is about to cross. It hasn't crossed, but if it does something like this, cross and then heads below the zero line, that would be negative. You can see RSI has failed to get back above this purple line. This purple line is 61.8 level. You can see that VIX doesn't like the 61.8 level very much. This area, each time it goes, even if it goes up above that level, it stays there for a short period of time and then pulls back. So momentum indicators are now beginning to head lower. So this is looking weak, but let's see how things evolve in coming session, whether or not it closes below this level 24. Now, in terms of sector, just wanted to bring few sectors to your attention. First one is XLY. So this is consumer discretionary. This has a positive day. See this base formation is quite bullish. This green candle is actually quite strong. It made a higher high. It has reclaimed this area, which was a previous support, then became resistance, so it's now gone above this. We now need to see it get back above this level. So this is around 162.50. If it gets back above 162.50, that's going to be quite positive. We can see that the momentum indicators are actually positive. You can see RSI it's made a W pattern, double bottom. It closed at just below the 50 level, so we want to see it get back above the 50, and then MACD looks like it's about to cross. If it can cross and head higher from this level, that would be positive. So XLY is looking positive. Another sector that was very strong today was utilities sector. So this is utilities. It had a pullback right here along with the overall market, but today investors were looking for defensive sectors, and this was one of the big beneficiaries. This sector was up 3%, utilities. You can see that the momentum indicators are looking good. RSI, you can see it made a W pattern, so this is quite strong. MACD never crossed below the zero line. It's still above the zero line, so this is looking positive. Another sector that also looked good today was healthcare. This is XLV. You can see this set of cluster of candles. This is actually consolidation candles, and today's candle was actually quite bullish. Today it closed up 1.63% and closed above the previous closing high, above this green candle. So this is looking positive. You can see that the RSI, it made a higher high. So that's looking good. MACD is below the zero line, but it looks like it wants to cross, and if it can get back above the zero line, that would be quite positive. So that's looking good. Healthcare. The sector that ended weak is the energy sector. This is XLE. I mean, you can understand why, because crude oil was weak, so obviously XLE, the energy sector, was going to be weak. You can see that the MACD has crossed, similar to here. RSI has been trending lower, so this is going in opposite direction. So energy sector looks like it may be weak on a near-term basis. If we look at the other sector that was very strong was your solar sector. You can see that healthcare, this TAN, this is the ETF, solar ETF. It's been steadily moving lower, and today it managed to break through this downtrend. So this is now looking positive. It was up over 6%. Momentum indicators are looking good, so looks like there could be more to the upside in this sector. Other sectors like biotech, not much. It needs to get through this level first, then needs to take out this high, which is around 90.91. Once that happens, then we might be able to see positive price action. Well, that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching the video.